Hello and welcome to Shy Talk, the World Cup football special. We're jumping on the bandwagon about 2 weeks too late. We've gone and done, well, Jason's gone and done a World Cup football special. He's charted all of the times that, all the victories I suppose over the decades, all the Euros, all the World Cups, all the glorious highlights, all 3 to 4 of them in the last century. But it's all in a build-up to the main one, the big one, Saipan 2002, which, as you can hear at the end of this episode, we've decided to do as our end-of-year Christmas special, which is in Whelans on Wednesday. So, if you want to come and hear that after listening to this episode and getting amped up, or even before listening, just turn off the episode now and go buy a ticket in the description for this one. It's going to be... It's 20 years since Roy Keane and Mick McCarthy. So come on, pick a side. Come down to Whelans draped in a Cork flag. Come down and shout at Jason. It's the last live show of the year. It's the last any show of the year probably. And it's going to be about one of the most contentious points of Irish history. Probably the earliest tragedy that either myself or Jason was alive for. And it'll be great. We're going to solve it once and for all. Roy Keane's Michael Collins versus Mick McCarthy as Eamon De Valera. Who knows? But anyway, come down to Whelans on Wednesday in Dublin. And before that, listen to this episode about all the good footballing that Ireland did over the years, just to get you really, really psyched up for that one time we might have actually done anything that was ruined and or rightfully taken away. I don't know. I'm impartial, but anyway, here's the episode. Happy football season to you all. Vive la France and go Morocco.
Gather around now, you're in for a story. Old tales of lore, all in search of a glory. The history and mystery of lads, lasses and all. Discoveries and voyages, the rise and the fall. Follow me now as we go back in time. We trace the steps of Irish heritage to find. Joseph from Carlisle and Kevin the dog guide you through the ways of Shining.
So let's start back in 1921 when the IFA, the Irish Football Association, looked over the entire nation's football affairs. One team, one league, one nation.
Okay. Wait,
And
what?
then 1921.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. So the state was just formed. First rule of business: get the footy on.
Mm.
We've just severed ties from our British oppressors. One of the big incidents is a horrendous Bloody Sunday murder in the GAA, the heart of Croke Park, the heart of the Gaelic revival. What are we going to do now that we have it? What if we just have a kickabout?
Kind of.
Yeah, just get the footy on.
Well, the IFA was founded in 1880, so it had been going for years before all that. And actually,
During the Gaelic revival, they were like, "Hey,
we'll
not so fast."
We'll get into that in a bit.
Right.
I'm going to do a U. We'll leave that. We'll park that. We'll come back to it in an hour
Alright.
when I want to talk about
Yeah.
it. But the IFA was based in Belfast, although although a Leinster FA was established in 1892
Okay.
to promote the game down there, and the lads from down south felt that the IFA wasn't doing enough to help the game below the non-existent borders.
Interesting.
They often favoured players and teams up north.
Yeah.
There's only 2 teams it's a full Ireland league. There's only 2 teams that weren't in what we now know as Northern Ireland.
All right. So you don't favour the teams down here. All 2 of us.
All 2 of them.
Okay. Yeah.
They're in their defence.
And their forwards and their midfields.
Don't blow your load too soon. You've got a good. It's probably an hour and a half to go.
Sorry,
you got references. Keep them in the bank, right? Yeah, in their defence, the GAA, very popular.
Mm-hmm.
They made it illegal to play foreign games.
Yep.
So a lot of people down south weren't playing them. Couldn't.
Yeah.
Or if you were playing GAA, you couldn't play football, I guess. And
sure.
Yeah. And then private schools would be playing rugby and posh sports like that.
Yeah.
And most of the teams down south, I think, had been, or down in Munster at least, I think had been set up by like British military forces when they'd been over. So there wasn't a whole lot of groundswell for like, the Queen's game.
Love of the game.
Yeah. Now, World War One had meant that the joint league between the All Irish League
Yeah.
was that was suspended. So regional leagues had been established, and the Civil War.
Why?
They couldn't. It was dangerous.
You can't be travelling from Munster to Leinster. Stay inside.
No, it's more you can't be travelling all the way up to north.
Yeah.
Just because I think Shelburne was one of the teams. I don't know which one the other one was, but it's probably just Dublin.
Can't travel the whole way up north because there's a war in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
World War One is a lot to answer for.
It does.
It probably yeah. If it were lads like turning from I can't watch League of Ireland, at least I can watch the Italian. The Spanish League, the Premier League. God, I'll have to turn now to the German. What are they up to?
No, the Premier League didn't exist at the time, Kevin. As
Let me
we all
have-
know, the Premier League and football started in 1992, and with the
1992.
92 when Sky started showing football, that's when football actually started. Everything
Oh.
else is just fairy tales.
Yeah, it's all just a build up.
Yeah, but in September of that year, right, this the soon-to-be Republic of Ireland said, well, no, because that was goodwill after the soon-to-be Irish Free State.
Okay. Yeah.
Had set up their own football association and league and national team with blackjack and hookers.
Well, sorry. Yeah, actually, when you say it was suspended during World War One, is there any chance it was possibly suspended after 1916?
It's pretty bad as well.
Yeah.
It's pretty bit of all of that.
Yeah, you know what? Everyone just fucking no more. Calm down, all right? No more Nintendo. Everyone go to bed.
It's a lot to be. We'll get into it a good bit over, but yeah, the wars tend to take up a lot of the
Yeah.
men who were playing would have to go and fight.
Yeah. All the football men were busy in playing the Christmas time football truce between the Germans and the British.
No, it never happened.
Yeah, it might have happened somewhere though.
Somewhere maybe, but I would say if it did happen, the ending should be, and then one lad started shooting all of them.
Yeah, yeah, fair.
But the IFA, so the FAI was now completely separate to the IFA. So we had two.
Okay, so and the IFA is
Up.
countrywide, north and south, and the FAI is now okay.
No.
All right.
And I think that'd make sense.
No.
It would have been the IFA up north and the Irish Free State would be like down south.
Okay.
But instead of that, both organisations said that they represented the entirety of Ireland.
Nice.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So they hadn't got on because they were like, you just do everything up for the Nordies. You're not doing nothing down here. And in
Mhm.
fairness, most lads who were playing were up north
Yeah.
because it wasn't as popular of a game down here.
No.
And I suppose there was like nationalists down south, but most of the players up north were all unionists. So you could see a natural division.
Because it's the Queen's sport, along with cricket and rugby and most sports.
Most sports,
Yeah.
The,
that we play.
But the IFA had said that the 1921 Irish Cup replay between Glenavon and Shelburne down here,
Yeah.
Glenavon, somewhere up
So
there.
Shelburne Rovers have been going since this must be one of the oldest teams.
Not Rovers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just Shelburne.
Shelburne
Okay.
FC. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I just put Rovers at the end of all teams.
Yeah, you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't pick something like Wanderers.
The Shamrock Wanderers, yeah.
Shout out Vale Wanderers. But because for security reasons, they said, it's too dangerous. 1921, can't play that replay down in Dublin like you're meant to.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it in a neutral venue of up north.
Linfield.
Yes. Legitimate. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might have been. Yeah. Or somewhere up there, be like,
Yeah.
the FAI didn't like this. They're like,
Oh.
now come on,
Yeah.
that's one too far. So they up and leave, and by 1923, they're part of FIFA after being admitted as the Football Association of the Irish Free State.
Okay.
Isn't a very catchy title.
No, the Football Association of the Irish Free State. That sounds shockingly close to FIFA.
It is,
Yeah. It's a bit confusing.
but for short,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go FAFES.
The Faves.
The FAFES.
The FIFA Faves.
FAFES. It was a 26 county association.
Mhm.
But in 1985, jumping ahead a little bit, they made an exception for Derry. So Derry players could come
Nice.
down. Yeah. James McLean.
Yeah.
Darren Gibson.
Yeah.
A couple of other ones. The Derry boys. But there have been a few attempts to reconcile the split. In 1923, FAFES proposed the idea of the IFA being an autonomous subsidiary of them, and that was rejected.
Okay.
The next year, the English FA stepped in and tried to get them to shake hands, but the stumbling block this time around was the IFA's insistence on having one of their members be the chairman of the international team selection committee,
Okay. Yeah.
which is a great job.
Is a great job, but it also probably
It just made me think of the Moneyball scene, which is like a load of old men sat around going, "Who's good?"
Yeah. But they what? So then they'd probably be like favouring a lot of people from the north when it came for international selection time.
Well, yes, and we'll get into it.
Okay.
1932, they were in talks again,
Oh,
agreeing to share that chairman role now. Times have moved on.
it sounds like they put more effort into this than unifying the fucking country.
But it was all going well until the IFA refused. So now they were like, you know what the problem was the last time? They were adamant they wanted the chairman position. This time they're like, all right, let's just share the position.
Okay.
Let's just have like 2 chairmen or do whatever. And they're like, okay, grand. And then the FAI are like, all right then. So the International Association Board, where like the heads of all the different nations have to go and meet up. They're like, oh, you've 2 seats as well, so we'll take 1, you take 1. And they're like, no, we're keeping both of our seats.
Okay.
So it's just, yeah. I don't know how they managed to go on the chairman of the selection thing. I'm like, yeah, do you know what? That's silly. We should split that.
Yeah.
And when we have 2 seats, 1 for each, like, you can go fuck yourselves. You dirty Southerners.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're at an impasse now.
Because they have 2 seats on this international board and they want to keep both of them.
Yes.
Why not? I mean, you know.
In fairness, you'd want to as well. You wouldn't want to give it away.
No.
That's free dinners, like dinner dances.
Yeah.
And dinners.
If you get +1s involved, you're up to 4 people.
Oh,
That's
and
a
you
party.
probably are getting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, realistically, in the history of Irish sports, but football in general, they probably would have sold that extra ticket.
Yeah.
Actually, they probably would have sold their own ticket as well.
Outside of the meeting.
But back in 1920, all the home nations, so England, Scotland, Wales, and the North, they all left FIFA. Britain feeling a bit odd about playing teams like, say, Germany, so soon after just fighting in trenches against them. And they considered football to be a British sport, and they didn't like how foreign it had gotten.
Yes.
A bit too continental for the British liking.
If only they knew.
But they literally took their ball, then went home.
Yeah.
So they leave FIFA.
That's one of the most. I remember there was just always a billboard in Dundalk when I was growing up. It would be like football against racism. It's a very stupid way to get the people to be not racist, but it is. I just remember seeing once it was like the English football team without any immigrants. It was like 3 people.
Oh yeah, no,
They're
you're not.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't like racism? What about this? And that message did not stick.
It never does.
No.
But so they all leave FIFA and set up their own governing body.
So how long's FIFA been around for then?
1904.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're in there for a while, but they finally leave and they set up their own home nations league, like a British championship where they're just all playing each other there. And then they come back I think it's like 4 years after. They're only away for a while. They're like, no, we're back in.
Mm-hmm.
And they leave again.
Okay.
Because the British Olympic Association, they fight against the idea of paying compensation to players for representing their countries and taking time off work. They're like, no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
all the other countries are like, no, you need to pay the athletes. I know it's an amateur game, but like they can't work if they're competing, and they're competing for the country in other countries. You need like a stipend, you need something. They're like, we're leaving. We're leaving FIFA.
If we start doing that, then we'll have to start paying all of our gymnasts, rowers.
But
that's shocking.
Oh yeah, and this lasts for a while this time. So the IFA are in with the home nations now, and then FAIFs join FIFA and the Olympics. The Olympics are like in with FIFA.
Okay.
So then the home nations aren't dealing with the Olympics.
Okay.
But both the FAI and the IFA both said that they represent the whole of Ireland, and that allowed them to pick players, to answer your question earlier on, from both the north and the south. And because there was a lot more leniency at the time for like switching codes, like nations, many players often played for both sides at the same time.
Nice. Yeah.
There were around 40 players who represented both teams.
Playing for Ireland and Ireland.
Yes.
Under 2 different. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
When fixtures would clash, you'd have to decide what side your bread was buttered.
Yeah.
But I think you could. I think you just return afterwards. Seemed to be the way. Like, but it's tough because if you're like, oh, we're playing Spain in Spain.
Yeah.
Or we're playing Wales in Wales or anywhere.
Yeah, sure, I get you. Yeah, so you just be like, yeah, what are the fixtures like this week? Yeah, I feel a bit northern.
Yeah,
week,
Norway in November.
Gibraltar at home, not bad.
Nice.
I like that.
But and also then for like if it's a championship game, or if it's just a qualifier, then that'll clash. The lads are like, I want to go for something the one that's more important.
Sure.
So there's a lot to take into consideration, but it did appear that they'd choose the IFA a little bit more, maybe for political or religious beliefs.
And the IFA is the northern based one. Okay.
So it's because a lot of the players would have been unionist.
Yeah.
But then also a lot of them would have came down and played for like the faiths.
Yeah.
And you would think then that they would definitely be like, no. But it's hard to tell.
I don't know. Sure, it's another
I don't know
game
what
to
was
play.
going.
Like,
I don't know what the overall feeling in Ireland was at the time.
yeah, for unionist soccer players.
It's just football. Do you know what? Like, as Gianni Infantino very eloquently put it,
Yeah.
just leave politics out of football. Can we all just watch the fucking game?
Yeah.
Or as Arsene Wenger so eloquently put it, have you noticed how all the teams talking political stuff did real shit? I lost a lot of respect for that, man.
Yeah.
That one hurt a lot. That one hurt more than Thierry Henry's handball.
Oh yeah.
But the players would be happy to play for both if they could, and often did, even in the same week. Jimmy Kelly once won 2 games for 2 separate Irelands in 1 week.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, because the home nations didn't compete in the World Cups because they weren't with FIFA, and then there was the war that happened, and there was a long time where pretty much no UK or Irish team ever like played at a major international tournament like that.
Okay. Well, now England through choice,
And
Ireland through
not being
good enough.
Yes, the
Okay.
4 other teams couldn't because they were part of the British Championship. We could play, and we played our first World Cup qualifier in 1934. Back then, it wasn't as big. I think there was like a game every like maybe 1 or 2 a year. I was looking through a lot of the players, and they're like, they were talked out like 4 times over a decade.
Okay.
Yeah, but Paddy Moore went full Irish-having that day. You won't get the reference.
Nope.
But trust me. 4 goals he scored on Ireland's first ever World Cup game, and it would have been great if they hadn't conceded 4 goals.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he scored 4 goals on his own, and then the other team also scored 4 goals.
Well, who was the other team?
I think it was Belgium. I think I forgot to write that down.
Yeah.
I think it was Belgium.
Probably some country that didn't exist at the time.
We'll talk about that a little bit later on as
Yeah.
well, of like the actual World Cups back then of the teams. You're like, it was a lot. There was less spaces for teams to qualify, but it was a lot easier because 2 or 3 of those nations are now 50.
Yeah. Yugoslavia and the Soviet Union.
But 2 years after that, in 1936, FAIFS becomes the FAI. So now it is, right? Do you have it in your head? IFA up there, FAI down here.
Easy. It's hard to know how anyone would mix those two up.
Yeah. And the FAI started calling the team ERA when they were playing those matches. I think they had previously been the Irish Free State, as they were like, they entered into the Olympics in 1924.
Yeah.
They went under the Irish Free State. But we kept playing away. World War II got in the way of any major tournaments being hosted, so we couldn't qualify for any of those. And there wasn't a lot going on until 1946.
Football's back on the menu.
It's not, though.
Oh, okay.
Because the world is financially crippled.
Yeah.
Physically, the cities are kind of...
A lot of countries don't want to see each other for a while.
For quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they say, do you know what? Push it out a little while. We'll come back 1950, all in.
Everyone's fucking happy again.
Yeah. So it is the return of football, and you think it's going to be like a huge deal.
Yeah.
So who steps up, Kevin? Oh, do you remember who hosted the 1950 World Cup? Guess.
Was it Brazil?
It was.
Okay.
But they didn't win. Uruguay won.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brazil got it. They got the nod. And FIFA thought, right, a couple of years, let's get all these problems out of the way. The nation that invented the game, they're not part of the game anymore. Let's try and fix that.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, did they invent the game, or is that kind of a...
No
one
like,
really knows.
Association football they did, but like in different various forms and in different countries. So it's not like... I let them have it because they invented the game.
Coming home is a catchy chant.
They invented the game in 1992 when Sky started showing the Premier League.
Fair enough.
But FIFA thought, right, what's the best way to get them on board? Say, lads, you're already playing your own tournament. Whoever wins that is going to get a free pass into the World Cup. And to sweeten the pot, the second place team are also going to go to the World Cup. So there's only 4 teams in the group.
Yeah. Good odds.
Yeah. And so they agree to it. So now that meant that all of those teams were back under the FIFA banner.
Yeah.
It was still called the British Home Championship, but it was under FIFA jurisdiction. So that, I mean, it's the first time that there's 2 Irish teams both under the one organisation.
Right.
So all of those other things, it hadn't been a problem before. For like, you could play for the IFA in the British Home Championship, and you could play like World Cup qualifiers for the FAI.
Yeah.
But now they're like, well, you're both
the both contenders.
Yeah.
Ireland and ERA.
Yeah. You can't. I was going to say double dip, but there is no.
Yeah.
It doesn't really happen.
Can't play both sides.
Yes. Although you can,
Literally.
they could, and they would try to still do that.
Yeah.
The FAI would have to qualify from a group with Finland and Sweden. This is when the issue really became a problem. In 1946, Johnny Carey and Billy Gorman lost 7-2 to England for the IFA.
Right.
Right, they got smashed.
Hmm.
And then 2 days later, they both had to talk out for the FAI down in Dalymount. Now, they only lost one now.
Okay.
But that is a lot to be like, why did you pick the same fucking player?
Well, it's
no way to prepare for a game by playing another game.
Yeah.
But this presumably pissed off the FAI. And at this stage, the FAI just stopped picking Northern Irish players.
Right, yeah.
They weren't bringing lads down. They were just picking lads from the south.
Okay.
But the IFA, they're still representing all of Ireland.
Yeah.
They're not seeding. So they're continuing to pick lads from south to move up. And lads would go as well because they love football.
They love the game.
Yeah. It got to a boiling point in March 8th, 1950, when 4 players, including the captain, Con Martin, talked out for the IFA, having played 4 qualification games already for the FAI in that process.
Okay.
Yeah. 2 of the lads even scored goals in those games.
Okay.
Yeah. So then the FAI complained and FIFA intervened and said, you can't be doing that. Surely you must have known you can't do that.
And why are the FAI complaining? Because the lads are just going to wear themselves out.
Probably, yeah.
Playing for another.
You'd think that they would just go like, I'm just going to play for this team, but
yeah.
you're offered football. You're probably getting paid. Travel.
Are they getting paid now?
Back then, you get,
yeah.
It's
paid in other ways.
Yes, it's like college sports in America. Yeah. So the IFA would finish bottom of their group with England winning and Scotland coming second. The FAI, on the other hand, would lose 4-1 in Sweden and beat the Finns 3-0 in Dalymount. So neither team would qualify.
Grand, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Until. Remember I said it was like no one really wanted to stage the World Cup.
No, did you?
I think I did.
No one wanted to hold it.
No one wanted to stage it, yeah, because they were like, it's a lot of effort and we're still rebuilding major
Everyone's
cities.
still a little bit annoyed.
Yeah, and it probably is they're used to holding it in Europe.
Yeah,
but
it's a bit on fire still at the minute.
Yeah, so like Brazil it is.
Yeah, okay.
Right. But
a neutral party.
But a good few teams didn't want to go because it was expensive. You have to fly all the way out to Brazil. You're bringing over a good chunk of lads.
Yeah.
And they're going for quite a while. The Axis powers banned.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure a few of the Axis powers slipped into Brazil a couple of years previous.
Yeah. Argentina were quite good at that World Cup.
Yeah.
But I read somewhere that they were like, they're banned because they didn't pay their dues, their FIFA dues,
What?
their membership fee. I'm like, I don't think that's
That's not the Jews that they had an issue with.
But, Argentina had a falling out with Brazil.
Oh, no.
They decided not to go. Ecuador and Peru also withdrew after the qualifying draw was made. They probably just looked at the group and were like, "No chance."
Nah, fuck it.
Yeah, it's not happening. India, they say that I think it was time constraints or whatever it was, but they backed out. And the rumor was it's because 2 years previous FIFA had brought in a rule that says you can't play barefoot.
Okay.
Everyone else had been playing with boots, and India went to the Olympics beforehand and just played without boots.
Class.
Yeah.
Why is that? That shouldn't be a rule. You should be able to if you want.
Hurt yourself, I imagine.
Let them
Well, you wouldn't. Someone else would hurt you by standing on you.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Although, in fairness, you're fucking... Like, if someone stands on you when you're wearing a football boot with, like, a metal stud, it's still going to hurt an awful lot. There's not a lot of protection when someone stamps on you.
No.
It is also, but it's easier to run around with having shoes on. It's better
with
to have
having
football.
shoes on. Yeah, like there's no advantage to not wearing it other than I guess that you
looking cool.
Looking cool. It would look cool.
Yeah,
but let them at it. I say
bring them down to the beach.
Yeah.
Let them play barefoot on the beach. Futsal. Bring it back.
Yeah. What's what was it FIFA Street? What was that video game?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We need
fun.
No more pitches, no more boots. We need to bring FIFA back to its fucking street roots.
Yeah, a luminous like waves of motion. Like every time you shoot the ball, you should have like a power button of like you get one.
Yeah,
just gonna thunder bastard this one into the top corner.
I'd start watching football more if they got rid of the boots and brought back the Thunder Boost. Finishing special.
But yeah, so India were out and Turkey also dropped out as well.
Nice.
Basically nobody from the Soviet Union. I think Yugoslavia, anything like the Eastern Bloc or like the Iron Curtain. I think it's like Yugoslavia went, but that was about it. But all of this meant that most teams ended up qualifying by default without playing any matches, or even you might play with 1 or 2, and then someone else in the group just drops out. So by default, There was a lot of teams just getting to the tournament.
Nice.
I suppose the reason why a lot of people didn't want to go was it was a logistical nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't think Brazil would have been. I don't know enough about Brazil, but I'm going to guess like most countries, it's not as developed in the 50s as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And judging by Brazil, it doesn't seem to be as developed now as it should be.
Yep.
No offense, Brazilians.
No.
We like you.
Yeah.
But also, very hot.
Yeah.
Very hot country.
I assume it's all the same issues that came up last time they hosted the World Cup, but only add in you're just after finishing a world war.
Yes.
There's no money. The people don't really want it. No one wants to go. There's a virus floating around.
The cities can be pretty far apart.
Yeah. What was
Not
the virus
all
at
of them,
that
but
time?
It was Zika.
Zika, yeah. The one that made your head small.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem real. Now that I've said it out loud.
There was so many of those before COVID that were like, oh yeah, there's another one. That'll pass. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
And we were saying that for a few weeks. And then we lost 2 years for it.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
But I was saying that France, that they'd been offered a place at the tournament because Scotland had turned it down.
Oh.
They became runners-up. Going into the qualifying, the Scottish FA Secretary, George Graham, declared that if Scotland didn't win the group outright, they wouldn't be going at all.
Such a stupid.
Yeah.
That's just something he said down the pub, and then when they came second, like, well, we have to.
That was, I think, even the England, they came second to England. They won 2 of their games and then lost to England, I believe. And he was like, no, I'm sticking to it. And all the players were like, please don't stick to that. And all the fans were like, please don't stick to that. There's not been a World Cup for like 2 decades.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I've said it now.
So I'm here.
I think even like the English captain at the time came out trying to be like, would you just go to the World Cup?
Okay.
So
France get offered their spot.
Yeah, so France get offered that.
Yeah.
But however, they turn it down because they'd been scheduled to play 2 games, only like a couple of days apart, maybe like 2 days apart, but in cities that are 3,000 kilometers apart.
Okay.
And in the 50s, you're like, well, that's a lot. Now, Finland.
This is just like a disaster.
Is an absolute disaster, and they had 4 years to organise it. Like, imagine what it would have been like if they tried in 1946, or even like we'll just do it in 48 or something. Like, not a chance.
Yeah. Why was it? Did they actually try and do it like a year after the end of war? Like,
no, that's why it was 1946. Or like just push it out to 1950. We'll have a good.
We'll have a good. Yeah. Everyone will certainly forget about like in Holocaust and Hiroshima and all. That'll all be done. 1 year? No, that's crazy. 5 years. They'll be thinking about the boots. They'll be thinking about the Vuvuzelas. It'll come back. Trust me. Let's put it in Brazil.
But Finland, who had lost to Ireland, they didn't even finish the group. They withdrew after like 2 games.
Did they not finish?
No.
That's their whole thing.
Hey, that meant Ireland were runners up.
All right.
Yes. And we were offered a spot, like the 4th or 5th choice.
Yeah.
After everyone else in Europe has turned it down. And probably even more.
Yeah, right, okay.
Oh, baby, we're going to the World Cup.
Did we take it?
Default.
Oh, nice.
FIFA send over the invitation.
It's just Scotland, France. It's crossed out on the top.
We accept it.
Nice.
The International Affairs Committee, I should say, all want to accept it.
Yeah.
But the honorary treasurer, MJ Kenny, he steps up and says, lads, do you have any idea how much this is going to cost?
Kenny.
I know. Where's the love of the game?
Yeah.
They all monetary. That's the FAI all over. But it was £2,700.
£2,700.
Enough to bankrupt the association, Kenny said.
Probably the country, in fairness.
Now, I found out then afterwards that it wouldn't have been enough to bankrupt the association.
Okay.
But they decided to turn it down anyway. They all chatted about it.
Yeah.
And they all agreed with Kenny. Right, we're not going. Tell them because it's too short notice. Don't tell them it's because of the money.
Yeah. The guts are $3,000 in the 1950s.
I looked into it. Have a guess.
It's a rough. Oh, is it what it's worth now?
Yeah.
I don't know. 10 million?
I could only find a calculator, like an online one to do the inflation years thing. It would start in 1956.
Okay.
So we're losing out by a couple of years. But if I went off of 6 years later, that money, it would have been about 68,000.
That's no, come on.
Yeah, they're like,
Now-
lads, it'll bankrupt us.
Ireland was pretty
Now,
fucked. In the
can we have
50s.
some of those tickets that you were going to give us?
Yeah,
If we
yeah,
turn
yeah.
it down now, can we still have some of those tickets?
Okay.
Yeah, so it probably went up a little bit more, but it's probably still under 100 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume we would have went into Group 4 with
Mm.
Bolivia and Uruguay, so we probably wouldn't have progressed because
No.
Uruguay turns out pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah.
But we would have got to play the World Cup champions. It would have been fun for our history.
Yeah, we
Also,
could
just
have
going to the World Cup would have been good.
Spent the whole time shiting on about how, like, if we had beaten Uruguay, then they went on to win the things. We pretty
Yeah.
much won it. We
It's
got a draw with Uruguay, but
Spain-
thanks to a dodgy penalty in the 90th minute, we pretty much won the 1950 World Cup. Really,
You're just thinking of 2002
Yes,
again.
I am.
Yeah, and it's true.
we'll get into that later. on.
That's for a separate episode. What
Yeah.
I've done now with this is I was researching this and there wasn't too much meat on the bones of it.
Yeah,
So I've added the I don't know if we've told people we're doing a Shite Talk Saipan special. The
Yes.
history of Roy Keane versus Mick McCarthy,
It's-
or as I like to say, Eamon De Valera versus Michael Collins.
and we all know who won that.
You've got an Irishman who sounds a little bit funny to be an Irishman. You've got a Corkonian rebel, a man of the people,
Yeah,
a leader.
Yeah.
Who gets stabbed in the fucking back.
you're doing an unbiased.
I am. No,
look
I'm gonna
back
do.
at
This is gonna be. I am. I'm joking there, but I'm going to be as impartial as I possibly can. Possibly can.
impartial as I possibly can when the evidence is so fucking clear. It's right there.
I'm just going to. We're gonna do that next week, and I'm going to just give you all of the facts. I don't know how much you remember about it,
Yeah.
but I'm going to give you all of the facts.
Yes.
1953, FIFA decided that neither the FAI or the IFA could be called Ireland, although the North continued to do so for quite a while.
Right.
But the South were happy to change it with the Republic of Ireland.
Republic of Ireland.
Yes,
Oh, so that's where.
that's where we get the.
Interesting.
Yeah, still have it now.
Yeah.
So
Roy.
no, we're not doing that now. We're not getting into Roy. Oh, I did actually find something funny about the World Cup. In the opening game, there was a Yugoslavian player
Mm.
who, seemingly in a way to gee himself up or like hype himself up for the match, he headbutted like a cast iron girder,
Okay.
knocked himself unconscious. This was a time when there weren't any subs,
Okay.
so they just fielded. They started the game with 10 men.
Nice.
Like not even you couldn't make subs. You didn't even have reserves there.
There just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was stupid, is
Yeah.
what it was. But now, the Republic of Ireland tournament history.
Mm.
Okay, so Roy Keane and Mick McCarthy.
You can just skip the 50 years.
Oh, well, in 1988, Ireland qualified for their first major international tournament after 20 attempts. If you're thinking, Jason, do you not consider the Olympic Games of 24 and 48 as major international tournaments?
Well,
They're not.
fair enough.
Olympic football is pretty shite.
Well, in 24, we won the Olympic gold medal for painting.
Well, that counts.
Yeah.
That's a sport.
And, well, actually, I can't remember if it was
If
gold.
darts is a sport, then painting's a
Painting.
sport.
We also got a medal for poetry as well.
Oh, yeah? Who won that?
Can't remember.
Paddy Kavanagh?
No. Well, yeah, Jack B. Yates won painting.
You just imagine that of like Michael Conlon when he got screwed out of the boxing
That was
and
great.
he just walked around pointing the finger and screaming at everyone. Do that, but when you get screwed out of the poetry competition. Never have I met wretches.
And I'm sitting here being judged by a fucking Russian cabal. I'm sorry. My hopes have been dashed.
That'd be great.
That would be
That'd
great.
be great. But now, sure, there'd been embarrassing defeats before '88, like losing every single game and qualifying for Chile in 1962.
Nice.
Granted, at the time it was a format where there was only 3 teams per group, so
Yeah.
we were like I think it's the first time that ever happened. That
I-
team had lost all their games, but it was only
Yeah.
3 games.
I don't know much about football, but I've seen people banging on about bringing that back now.
What? Just
Which-
3?
The 3 people per group.
Well, see,
Because I
you,
guess
you can't because it's a stupid
'Cause it's a
decision
stupid
as one of the
format.
time. Like that's from a bygone era,
Yeah.
and also the 2026 World Cup. uh,
are they doing it for the 2026?
Yeah, they're bringing in they're upping it from 32 teams to 48,
Right.
which is too many teams.
Yeah, it's too many.
Because even now you can see it. There's not.
There's a lot of like one-sided results in this World Cup.
Yeah, well, that's most of them. Actually, this one hasn't been as bad as a lot of them.
Yeah.
But then you do see it eventually. This is a weird World Cup because people weren't prepared. It's like they got like 7 days off playing for their clubs to like run out there, kick the ball around with their. I haven't seen you in ages. How are you getting on? Oh, who are we playing? Oh, we're playing Brazil. But there had also been defeats full of pride, like in 1966 when goal difference didn't count and we smashed Spain 4-1 away, but lost 1-0 at home. So nowadays we'd have gone through 4-2.
Yeah.
But back then they're like, no, you have to do a replay.
That's
Like
outrageous.
another playoff. And that was the only qualification at this point. So we didn't even make it to. We didn't make it to that tournament. But
technicality.
realistically, we got pretty deep into that.
Realistically, we won that tournament.
Yes. Oh, if we hadn't got fucking screwed, Spain again.
Again.
Where was the ref? Niall
Spain.
Quinn's jersey was ripped off.
We're gonna have to fill you full of fucking Xanax before we do the Saipan episode.
More.
Yeah.
But Syria withdrew from the group, so we lost the playoff to Spain in France. 1-0 win for them, courtesy of a Jose Ufuarte goal in the 81st minute. This is a heartbreaking result. Meant that we missed out on a chance to go over to spoil the party for England because they won that World Cup.
Yeah. Why did Syria not want to go to France? Or is that why did they drop? Was the game being played in France?
It was very common. No, this was the qualifiers.
Okay.
This is the playoff game between us and Spain.
Yeah.
For this World Cup.
It's World Cup. Okay.
Teams often just dropped out, especially if you were like, oh, we've got 3 games, we've lost the first one, and the next 2 are against the good 2 teams. I'm not paying for that.
I'm pretty sure the French colonized Syria.
Well, that
they had an old history there.
But they were. That's good. But they were. Well, it's not good. But they weren't in the group. They were in it with Ireland and Spain.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So maybe they just thought, like, yeah, well, there's no chance. It's a lot of money.
It is
doing all of that. But actually, it's not because we just heard it's fucking no money.
It's a lot of money if you're
if you're definitely going to lose.
Yeah.
Then it's a lot of money. If you don't have a lot of money at all. But Ireland had been offered the playoff because it had to be in like a neutral venue.
Yeah.
Wembley.
Okay.
Which doesn't really make it a neutral venue because
against who was it? Ireland
versus Spain.
Spain. Oh right. Sorry. This is the replay.
This is the playoff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of neutralish.
No, because England was full. Like London's full of Irish people that you would have, and we would also travel over, and it would have been packed.
Sure.
Yeah. Or we would have all got tickets and then sold them at a higher rate.
Okay.
Now, in fairness, so they sold. FIFA wanted them to play in Wembley.
Yeah.
And there was more money to be made, or else they were bought off to do the game in France, right beside Spain. Didn't realise there's a huge Spanish population there, and it turned from being a home Irish match in England to a home Spain match in France.
Yeah.
So they just took the money and lost.
Oh, okay.
They went to France instead, which was way closer to Spain, and they had a huge what's that? Is it the Basque region?
Boys, like Irish-English relations wouldn't have been the best in, this is the early 1980s, is it?
That was 66.
Oh, 66?
Yeah.
Even worse.
Worse. Yeah, but there would have been a lot.
IRA time.
But there's a lot of
people would have been singing IRA chants back then, they would have meant it. They wouldn't have gone on well in Wembley at all.
There would have been women screaming up the Ran. They wouldn't have been talking out for the team.
No.
They'd just been walking down the streets.
Yeah.
They got fined today.
I know, yeah.
€20,000.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, I'm sure I said this before, but like the Dundalk football club team got fined for flying Palestinian flags during, I don't know who they were playing, whenever they got into like the Europa League.
Maccabi Tel Aviv or Haifa. It was an Israeli team, obviously.
I think the first time was an Israeli team, and then they got fined, and then they're like, well, fuck it, we're going to start flying them at every match.
Just all the time.
And they like did a whip around for the money to pay the fine before the match even started. So just give the money to Palestine or something. Like, no, we're going to give it to FIFA and we're going to fly this flag.
No, I was going to say give it to the players who were underpaid.
Well, not at that time.
Semi-professional.
That was when we had an American millionaire running the club. Everyone was getting paid.
Yeah, running it into the ground.
No, that was when they were good. I don't know enough about football.
Yeah, I think people weren't too happy with that. I think they wanted what they wanted to happen was come in. They'd seen how much money they'd made with the Europa League qualification. They're like, sure, if we just keep doing this, we'll be making hand over fist. You're like, that's not going to happen again.
Did I show that to you at the time? Whenever because they left there like 2 years ago, the American owners, and they put up on Facebook, like a just business style. Yeah, it's we're great. We've loved our time here. The memories we've made is with great sorrow we step away, but all this sort of bullshit. And every comment on it was like, "Yo, fuck those. We're back. Yep. We know we'll be missed by our loyal supporters in the duck. Get the fuck. Yep."
Did they ever go to any of the games? I wonder. There was no face on it. There was no It was just a conglomerate or a company, right?
It was like, didn't some guy buy it for his dad or something? Wasn't that the story?
I don't
Some
know.
multi-millionaire bought it for like some American multi-millionaires. What do you get for the man who has everything? What about like a regional football team from Ireland?
More of that. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm often saying like, right, I hate the fact that there's all of this like this nation state money, like
The Saudis,
the Saudis,
all your
and,
favorite
like,
teams.
yeah, like all of that. But thankfully my club doesn't have to deal with that. We were just owned by an American corporation that owns Walmart,
Nice.
and all the big teams. Like, was it the LA Rams,
Yeah.
LAFC, what else? Colorado Rapids, Denver Nuggets.
They sound like fucking breakfast cereals.
Silent Stan Kroenke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. He'd marry. He was like a property developer, and he had billions. And then he married into the Walmart family of just two giant billionaires
Sweet.
just getting together.
Yeah.
Rough, but I'd say nothing about them.
Nope.
Just keep pumping money in. Hopefully, we win the league.
Yep.
But sorry, just to finish off that, I was like, I hate that in the Premier League.
Mm.
In the League of Ireland, I'd be 100% Saudi. If you're listening to this,
Mr. Saudi.
Sheikh Mansour, I'm just saying, there's a lot going on. You could bring back Kilkenny FC.
Yeah.
Kilkenny City Football Club, a sleeping giant. But, so we don't get to go over to that World Cup. 1966, Spain were in England's group. We could have stopped them. We could
Yeah.
have stopped their only ever World Cup.
That's the one England wins.
Yeah, it's the one.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to start taking liberties with history. Jeff Hurst goal never crossed the line. He admitted as much.
Yeah.
But we'd lost. We'd also lost out on goal difference for the World Cup in Spain in '82. This time to France.
This time, so they've brought in goal difference just in time to fuck us.
Yes.
This is outrageous.
No, because it would have been away goals back then. This is just regular goal difference.
Okay.
Yeah. But in a group, as we'd go in as plucky underdogs. We'd face international powerhouses like Belgium.
Yeah.
And we draw and lose to them. But then the Netherlands draw and win. And then we beat and lost to France. And they said, look, I haven't looked up I was trying to look at like 1950s and 60s and 80s football earlier on. And YouTube's very bad for it.
Yeah.
It's not an archive. For
No.
Old Irish games aren't there. That's
Funnily.
yeah.
They're not even on RTE.
No, they're not even in the archives.
No.
We've probably taped over them. That's what we've
Oh,
done.
definitely. Yeah.
But they'd said it was a lot of contentious refereeing decisions. They weren't happy with that. But it wouldn't be until 1988 that we finally break the qualification curse, thanks to Gary Mackay's 86-minute winner against Bulgaria, away to Bulgaria, for Scotland. The upset meant that Bulgaria, who only needed a draw to progress, would finish an agonising 1 point behind group victors, the Republic of Ireland.
Hooray!
Yes, would qualify 65 years after joining FIFA, 67 years after establishing the FAI,
Yeah.
and 38 years, FAI faiths all of that,
yeah.
yeah. And 38 years after they'd turned down a free invitation to the 1950 World Cup. I bet if they had have known back then that
How long it would take.
it's going to be 38 more years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They
who
still wouldn't have done it.
who was in that group? And is this another case where we were victors thanks to our brilliant 0-0 and 1-0 draws?
No, we did pretty well, but I think
Okay.
I think we lost to Bulgaria somewhere along the way, and we needed Scotland to get something away to Bulgaria. Bulgaria just needed to draw at home, and Scotland went over, and they got a late winner. Because they were probably just, at that stage, because Scotland couldn't qualify anyway, because they won their next game and still finished behind us.
Yeah.
So they were...
Sometimes you
Cheers,
just
though.
gotta...
Sound
Yeah.
lads. Shout out Ben Firth.
Yeah, sure.
Or,
Cheers, Ben.
or Gary Mackay.
Yeah.
But this 1988, it wasn't a fluke. Sure, we may have needed some unlikely help from the Scots, but a team as unlucky as Ireland through the 80s deserved the rub of the green. Times they were a-changing.
Yeah.
Right, the
Who
last
wrote
time,
that?
Hmm?
Who wrote that?
I don't know. I was listening to Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
So again, I've wrote in the hyphens as well.
I
But-
love this. There's always this notion of Irish football as being like unlucky. We have such a why do people think that we should be better than the likes of Iceland or Bulgaria or like
We shouldn't.
Romania? No, we should. But
No.
everyone's always it's ridiculous. We should be beating these teams. Like why?
We
With the
really,
same-
we really shouldn't. They've
No.
got better. Like the weather suits them more. The fact that they don't have indigenous sports, and a lot of them don't play like rugby as well.
Sure.
That there's just so much going on, and that they are bigger football nations. Ireland's a big football nation, but not compared to
Azerbaijan.
Well, do you know what? They actually are pretty. They're pretty nimble.
Yeah, they are.
They're pretty handy. But no, Ireland are grand at football. For a
I know,
nation
but I get it's always the idea like an unlucky run or like it's just not that good.
yeah, but it's just like it is unlucky if you get like that close to qualification. It wasn't a fluke. It was like tight games and like football. It's a cruel old mistress.
Yeah,
right. But this is the last time a League of Ireland player had played for the country in a competitive international match was Shamrock Rovers Pat Byrne in November of 1985. And the League of Ireland fans probably aren't going to like this. It's around the time that we did start to get a lot better at football.
okay.
Yeah. I don't. That's that. They're going to fucking come at me now. I've got a target on my back. If you're St. Pat's fans, I live real near you.
So protect me.
Yeah, I've gone to your games.
Yeah.
I'm like a spy in the
You've
crowd.
gone to their game.
One, but I'll go back.
Yeah.
The Berlin Wall, fallen 3 years after this, may have dominated the era's front page headlines, but Jack Charlton's olive branch of taking over an Irish side may have done even more to bring harmony between two warring nations.
What a time of unity.
In February 1986.
So, well, just for the people at home who are stupid,
That's what we're gonna go. We're gonna go through it.
who Jack Charlton is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So he's the brother of Bobby Charlton,
Yep.
one of England's great players. 1966 World Cup winner, the two brothers. Big Leeds player. He'd managed a good bit. He'd done well. He'd been getting on a little bit now, and he was like, you know what? I'm taking over there. What's Jack? Big Jack.
Yeah.
Do you remember much of Jack, or is it all like just reeling in the ears stuff?
It's all real in the ears stuff for
Yeah.
me. I mean, he would have been the manager of our childhood, but
Yes, but I wouldn't have remembered any of that. Actually, to be honest, no, he wouldn't have. He'd be, well, like
when's he taken over? Like
he left in 94, I believe.
I was watching the.
You were 3.
Yeah.
Oh, you probably would have been actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
I would have
was
been too
up
young
there.
because I'm a baby. Because you're an old man.
I'm an old man. I was a child in the crib looking through the bars. It's fucking offside. Not a hope, ref.
Just walking out a penalty shoot. Oh god, I can't watch it. I can't.
Yeah. Hiding behind my blanket.
So Jack had decided to come over and manage Ireland. This is an Englishman, a well-known Englishman.
He's not even hiding it or anything.
But I suppose he wasn't one of the. He got the love of the people in.
Yeah.
Because he was a big figure anyway. But he, firstly, good results.
Yeah.
People tend to like that.
That'll buy you a lot of favour.
And it was a lot of kicking lads. But he decided to come over. He wouldn't have been. He was a successful manager, and Ireland had been okayish, but not particularly. And,
right.
But with Jack Charlton, now a lot of people. What do you think about that's? Do you think that that's the era when we started bringing in all the English players?
No.
No, it was 1965. We had Shea Brennan, I think he was a wing back for Man United.
Oh.
And he came over. It was the first time it had happened. But a lot of people often think that when Jack came in, that's when he just like, right, get the Rolodex out, go through everyone's last name. Does anyone have an O something?
Shea. Hey, fucking hit the next one. Oh, Brennan. Oh. Although Shea is well.
Yeah, it's probably short for Seamus.
Yeah, it's supposed to Guevara.
Shea Brennan's granny might have been from Cork.
Yeah.
Just like Che Guevara's. But it's around now though that the duality of nationality became a bit of a topic.
Yeah.
Like Ireland's history of emigration and FIFA's grandparent rule meant that the 80s had seen a lot of lads with British accents playing for Ireland. The likes of Liverpool's Mark Lawrenson, Tottenham Hotspur's Chris Hughton. Not sure. He might have been the first black player to ever played for Ireland.
Oh, really?
Big Jack's appointment coincided with the influx of a couple of big players coming over. John Aldridge had been a good player in the 3rd and 4th division for Pádraig Ammon's Newport County in the early part of his career, but a hot streak in 83-84 saw him get the attention of Oxford United, who were preparing to be promoted to the 2nd division. They had a couple of games left, so they were just buying the best players in that league before they go up.
Right.
So he played like 8 games, scored 4 goals, but then the next season, 30 goals, 42 games, back-to-back promotions, goes into the Premier League. 38 goals in 64 games in 18 months. And Ian Rush leaves Liverpool to go to Juventus. And all of a sudden, John Aldridge is playing for Liverpool, and we got to him a few months beforehand. And we were like, you're playing for Oxford, you're doing pretty well. What, you're not going to, you already, I think he was 26 or 7.
All right.
Might as well come over to Ireland. And then he signs for us. And then, like, that summer, Liverpool are like, you're replacing the best striker in the world.
Okay.
Yeah. So he goes in. Now, the fact that he didn't score for about 20 games in an Irish shirt, that didn't matter.
He's doing well for Liverpool.
He's doing well for Liverpool.
Basically doing great.
He's
for
got
Ireland.
a great grandmother of Matt Lone.
Nice.
And he's doing well for Liverpool. So shut up. Now, I used to, the barber across from DCU over by on Ballymun Road entrance, beside the Spar, around the corner. It's a little bit hidden. Wasn't that busy.
No.
He cuts John Aldridge's hair. If you're a Liverpool fan, you want to find John Aldridge, go to that barber shop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beside the Slipper.
Is that the slip? I never went. Oh yeah. I'm trying to think.
I assume it's just that one complex across the road from DCU.
Yeah.
Okay.
The who else? I've never seen photos of other people. Oh, I think the guitarist from Snow Patrol. He got his haircut. Pierce Brosnan.
Did you
Pierce
just get
Brosnan.
conned by the fucking like Grafton Street barbers?
No,
They
no,
just have a load of famous photos up on the wall.
no. It's not like it's very much so not a Grafton Street
Elvis
barber.
Presley and Elvis Costello.
He's in the photos with them all, looking
Oh,
very happy, cutting their hair. It's funny.
Okay.
But yeah, Pierce Brosnan as well.
Nice.
Yeah, but Ireland was sexy now. Like when you get a fresh new haircut from a barber up beside DC. It took him like 20 games to score, but it didn't matter. We had a giant player playing for us, and we had other lads around as well who were already doing well.
Yeah.
But like in the years before Jack, we had lads declaring Kevin Sheedy, big player, played for Everton for a long time. He's from Wales. I think he was an Irish da, and he came and represented Ireland.
Okay.
And then Tony Cascarino, who remains, I assume, one of the very few men to have played and scored for a nation he has zero affiliation with whatsoever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Have you heard?
Cascarino.
Cascarino. Yeah.
He's from Milan.
His ma,
Yeah.
his grandfather was Irish.
Right.
His ma never told him until, I think it was like 86 or something, that, oh, by the way, I was adopted.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But it's good enough for the FAI. It's good enough for FIFA.
Well, that's the thing. So his mother told him that she was adopted. So he does have an Irish grandfather, but not by like blood or birth.
But they just come out afterwards.
So he found out in '96.
Right.
So it was already a bit. He'd already been playing a long time for us.
Yeah.
He did keep playing for another 3 years and didn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. But fuck it. Why not? He was good. Big Cass. He was class. Big Tony and his personality. He's a great lad.
Yeah.
Loves the beer, I assume.
He's as Irish as anybody.
Yeah. And no, literally,
Yeah.
no.
I'd say he probably brought that to the management and they were like, how about you keep that to yourself there, Giuseppe?
I do remember hearing afterwards people were like, why didn't you just keep it short? It's like, well, because he'd already, I think by the time he retired, he's like, I have to write a book. What do you want to say? I was like, oh, I played like 88 games for a country I've no ties to whatsoever.
Yeah.
My ma is adopted, and I think the dad was Italian. I don't know if that's where the name came from, but
Sure.
He's playing for countries where he has no affiliation. He just pick a name; it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
Just deep pull, gone.
Mm-hmm.
But this crop of first, second, third, and fourth generation that the Irish had banded together under the tough talking, no nonsense, working class attitude of Jack Charlton. By God, did we put up some results?
Hit me with them.
Right.
Come on.
Blood and guts, fire and brimstone, piss and vinegar.
Yeah.
I was just going to think of any other things like that.
Yeah.
Cheese
and crackers.
Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
The
Selma and Helga.
Louise.
No. What were Sabrina's aunts called? That's Thelma and Louise you're thinking of.
No, Selma and Patty and Selma.
Patty and Selma, yeah. Other power couples.
Do you remember that the episode where is it Patty or Selma that comes out as lesbian?
No, that's way after my time.
I remember seeing it, like I wasn't watching at the time properly. It was just like it was on telly. It was like, oh, it was with this, and she was coming out as gay, and they're like, yeah, the signs were always there, and you could see her like, I don't know, like maybe I don't know, whatever it was, like shaving one side of your head or like playing sports and just all of these things, and then just cut to her shifting a woman. I suppose you should have seen that one coming. But yeah, should we put teams under pressure, as the song would say?
Yeah.
Do you know that song?
Put them under pressure. Lads.
Yeah. But so you do know football. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
The
I just
game-
know that song.
The game's about being effective,
Yeah.
being aggressive, getting the ball, kicking it as far away from you as you can.
Hoofing it.
Yeah.
Lob ball after lob ball into the general vicinity of the opponent's box and hoping for a lucky header
Yeah, just keep the ball as
or a
far away
scrappy free kick.
but as far away from your goal as possible.
Yeah.
Just kick it as hard as you can.
Yeah.
Well, no, kick the players as hard as you can and kick the ball 5% less than
Yeah.
that. It was a great time.
I know because Jack Charlton died during COVID.
Yeah.
Not because of COVID. Maybe. I don't know. But I know all the songs from his
Yeah.
recent death.
No, it's one of those I'm like, it's a good song, and then if it comes on at the right time, I'm likely to my eyes to well up.
Yeah.
Like, we were
Wait till you watch The Van. You'll be in tears here.
I'm looking
Oh,
forward.
we were great.
Yeah. We were. It was
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
But like style was shelved in favor of substance, or in other words, just knocking 7 shades of soccer into
Yeah.
lads. Charlton would take this golden generation of players and make them see that no matter how good they weren't going to be a match for the best teams in the world on a pure skill basis. But if they work like dogs, then to be in a position to take advantage of the skills they did have, acting like running around like dogs, jumping on people, licking them.
Barking.
Yeah, they responded really well to treats,
Oh, okay, yeah.
like pints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the promise of more pints to come.
But yeah, because while playing for Ireland, it was and drinking ahead of yourself came in tandem.
Of course.
It was a party, a big effort, a big party, a big
Yeah.
result, even bigger party.
There you go.
Given how well the players got on with each other, it was often a party before the games even started.
Yeah.
But the drinking culture didn't seem to impede the squad too much, qualifying for 3 out of 4 tournaments
Okay.
back to back. So we
Yeah.
did the Euro '88. Who put the ball in the English net?
Ray Houghton.
Yes, he did. A
Yeah.
Scottish man.
Yeah.
I think he had it was his dad or his granddad was Irish. Now, so
Just like James Connolly.
we finished above England in that group.
Nice.
A 1-1 draw with the tournament runners-up, the Soviet Union.
Okay.
And a heartbreaking 82nd minute loss to the eventual winners, the Netherlands.
Right.
Meant we didn't advance from the group. We did get a pretty cool Christy Moore song out of it.
What was it?
The Joxer Goes to Stuttgart.
Oh, yeah.
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 Because it was in Germany '88.
Mm.
But
Which Germany?
there was only one.
In 88?
No, damn.
Yeah.
I'll still call it.
One of the Germanys.
But it was that song, or should I say, that idea that Christie could or would write a song about you, immortalising your legacy for generations, that spurred Irish players to qualify for Italian '90.
Yes.
Is
Is that how they sold Jack Charlton to the Irish? Or like we can't Jack Charlton is too Anglo. What if we just called you Joxer?
No, that's not the song. Joxer is a lad who drives to sport.
Oh,
You never heard the song?
I have heard that. Forgot
It's a
about
great
that.
song,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just a
One of those Christy Moore ones you're like, he's
Yeah.
very capable of writing amazing songs, and he's like, I'm just going to tell a stupid story
Yeah.
with a load of jokes and then go
about what's the other one about the lads going to Amsterdam and smoking joints?
God, he's good. He was playing Dublin last night. 70s.
He's constantly playing Dublin.
He's
He's been here
He can't travel
several
around too
times.
much. He's very old now.
He is very old.
Yeah. He also
would
plays
like to
Carlo
see
because
him.
he used to live there.
Does he also? Listen, we'll listen to it
Well,
afterwards.
yeah, we'll do a Christy Moore episode. You do
Yeah.
one on Christy actually.
Yeah,
He's great. It was, yeah. So we qualified for Italian '90.
Yep.
Right. Beaten and drawn with the Northern Ireland along the way.
Nice.
The Northern Ireland to finish second in the qualifying group. Draw with England 1-1 thanks to Kevin Sheedy.
Nice.
Yeah, the lad
Yeah.
born in Wales. Draw with Egypt and Niall Quinn, big Niall Quinn. He got a goal tying things up with the Dutch to force a classic way to settle a soccer match
Yeah.
and a group.
Yeah.
We're going to draw lots.
This is the Irish style. Just keep getting draws and hope that one of the big teams fuck up.
Yeah,
and
but they're like,
lose.
do you want to settle this on with extra time or penalties or a replay? They're like, no. 50-50 draw.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I assume the Dutch weren't very pleased with that,
Probably not.
but we were. In fairness, they just won the Euros.
So fuck them.
Yeah. So we ended up going through. We beat Romania on penalties.
Nice.
Parky Bonner saving.
Yeah.
And then we got into the quarterfinals, and Italy and that scumbag Toto Scalacci.
Yeah.
He broke Irish hearts by knocking us out of the tournament a week after most Irishmen had knocked up their misses.
Yeah. My parents got married during that summer.
Did they already have it planned, or is it just last minute? They're like, we'll always remember it.
We'll save a lot on dinners because everyone will be off watching the match.
That's true as well, actually. Yeah, nothing was going to be booked. There was no, you could pick of... You could got married in the GPO if you wanted.
I remember looking it up at I think England might have just gotten knocked out the day before their wedding.
Ah, nice.
But by a country that doesn't exist anymore. I think the games were like West Germany and maybe Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, it is. Those I always had fun with that when I was younger. Like, just before you realise that they don't want to be the same nation. I was like, wait, Yugoslavia used to exist. They have loads of class players. They should get back together. They might win the World Cup.
Wait, why don't you just combine Ireland, Northern Ireland, England, Wales, and Scotland? They'd have a great team.
Yeah.
Get the boys back together.
But even it
You call it the United Kickers, the UK.
But it surfaced again when Croatia got to the final of the World Cup 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, yeah, so if they did have all of those other... If they could get to the final, if they had one or two other class players from the other nations, I'm just saying.
Just saying. Yeah.
You'd
get the team back together.
You could mend a lot of fissures, let's say that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of problems there, politically, geopolitically, etc. A World Cup would solve that. Now, we'd become the first team to ever go unbeaten for the entire qualifying campaign of the 92 Euros in Sweden. 4 draws, 2 wins, not enough to qualify for the tournament.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
the only team that's ever gone unbeaten and didn't qualify.
Okay.
Yeah. 4 draws, 2 wins. That's your point. That's Ireland usually get 1 point.
Yeah.
Denmark qualified for that tournament after Yugoslavia were banned for the Yugoslav wars.
Banned for the Civil War.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
They were like, yeah, we're not doing this. Yeah. And so Denmark...
You can send one country.
But Denmark came in last minute because they were like real last minute. And they were like, oh no, you got to just join in. And they went and won it.
Damn.
Yeah, it was great. Michael Laudrup and Peter Schmeichel, and I'm sure they had at least one other player.
Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
We'd become the... but having missed out on a piss up with the boys in 82, and no songs from Christy Moore, the boys in green would put together a string...
92.
90, no, yeah, we didn't qualify for 92, so we got to 88, 90, and then we didn't get to the Euros in 92.
Yeah.
But then the lads had put together some results. 7 wins, 4 draws, 1 loss, only a point behind Spain, but scored 4 goals more than reigning Euro 92 champions Denmark, who we drew at twice. So we went.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which in fairness, so we got a draw against the Netherlands, drew lots, and then so we went through in the 90 against them, and they just won the 88. And then when Denmark had just won Euro 92,
we're drawing with them as well.
We drew with them as well, but finished ahead of them and went to the World Cup. They didn't get to go.
There you go.
Until the Yugoslav war. There should be more teams just doing that. Just like false flag operations, or just setting up wars in other countries.
Yeah.
Tamper. That's not what a false flag is. False flag is when you...
it's pretend. False flag is when you pretend that there's been an atrocity and you hire a load of child crisis actors.
Okay. No, yeah, do that. That's what I meant.
Do that.
Definitely do that. And then just be like, whatever team is right ahead of you in the rankings, just set up a fake war there.
Yeah.
Get them kicked out. All of a sudden, baby, default. And so remember that thing, putting them under pressure?
Yeah.
Doing all of that? Well, USA 94, do you know where that was?
America.
It was in America. And we were playing down in the heat of the Floridian summer. Yeah. 35 degrees minimum and lots of humidity.
It's pretty... Yeah. America's giant.
Is huge, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's several decades afterwards, but if you're complaining about having to travel from one Brazilian city to another...
Yeah, but
you got one game in Maine and then the next in Ohio.
Well, this is in 94. And I think we actually did.
They had planes.
But they were based up like different groups in different areas. So like we wouldn't have to travel. You play all yours in one area and then the quarters and semis go into others. But so it's not too bad. Apart from the fact that you're bringing a load of pasty Irishmen out to minimum 35 degree heat.
And only half of them actually came back then. In my head, I'm still picturing like FIFA streets, but like one match is being played in Times Square, one match is being played in like the fucking Bayou, another match is a cornfield in Utah.
Well, I think they stayed with major cities for most of it. I think like Chicago got one, Florida, New York, Boston, maybe Maine though. I think there might have been something up around there.
Yeah.
Surely LA as well, but just not. You really have to think. Not to say like I want the World Cup to be in the winter all the time. First I didn't want it in Qatar anyway, ever. But sometimes the winter time does make more sense because a lot of countries, turns out, are fucking roasting during the summertime. And the World Cup is played at the height of summer.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any
A lot of
sense.
countries are very cold in the winter though.
Yeah, don't go to any of those. Cold winter countries, summer World Cups.
Yeah.
Winter, vice versa.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Next one's in America during the summer, I think. Imagine, like,
Yeah, it is again.
I've gone for walks in Texas, and it's been like 42 degrees.
Yeah.
You can get outside for a couple of minutes, and then that's it. I played a GA match, just like a training session, Saturday. I mean, granted, I was probably a little hungover because it was Saturday morning, but 9 or 10 a.m., so the sun hadn't even properly come up yet. I've never felt like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to pass out. We're not made for that. And I'm a tanned man.
Wearing a Carlo jersey.
Yeah. It's a St. Louis jersey.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, shout out
Yeah.
Pat Connolly's in St. Louis, GA.
Yeah. Up the tavern.
It's Pat was a Galway man that moved over there, and they still have the bar in the family. It's been like 100 years,
Oh.
and they have a photo up on the wall of like what it used to look like back then. Not a thing's changed. It's great.
Beautiful.
Well, a few teams were as ill-equipped as us for the heat.
Sure.
Seeing as none of the other teams from the UK made the tournament, England famously didn't make it that time.
None of the other teams from the UK.
None of the teams from the UK. We beat Italy, getting revenge on that scumbag, Toto. Not for what he did in the Stadio Olimpico on June 30th, 1990, but for being the countryman of a swine like Giovanni Trapattoni.
Yeah.
I'm going to be impartial for the Roy Keane episode. Giovanni Trapattoni can go and fuck. We played Mexico next. We were losing 2-1 in 41-degree heat.
Mother of God.
When John Aldridge was meant to be sent on as a sub, only for the paperwork. All right, so basically what happened. Have you ever seen this?
No.
It would be like one of those great reeling in the ears ones. It's like the Italian 94 moment. It's roasting. You can see everyone's red.
Yeah.
They're having water breaks. It's madness. He's trying to come on the field. He's been waiting there as a sub, waiting to come on. And they're just waiting and waiting and waiting. There's another player with him, and that player gets to go on. But then a FIFA official comes over, takes the piece of paper away from them, and then John can't go on. And the referee's like, "No, I need the paper. You have to do that." It's like the official has it, and then Jack gets into it with him, and he goes like, "Has to be separated from him," and no one knows who he is. He's a stupid yellow hat on.
Yeah.
And then John just it's too warm. It's too warm, and he's from Liverpool. He's going to lose his mind. He's just starts effing and blinding and screaming. It's all on TV, and you're going to see him trying to go for him. I remember seeing a clip of him being interviewed like years after, and he's like, "Yeah, look, I didn't cover myself in a lot of glory." He's had to have a laugh about it. He's like, "Yeah, he was going to kill that man."
Yeah. Well, so you just wasn't allowed on.
It made no sense
reason.
for no reason whatsoever. They're like, even if there was, it's paperwork. You know who it is. You have cameras on it. Whatever it is, like just count the players. Whatever. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's just some stupid FIFA official. And see how I keep saying stupid because I'm just not gonna.
Yeah.
I was saying try not to curse. I know I've cursed a few times today already, but that guy, an Amadon, Kevin, a Gombeen.
A Gombeen.
But he finally entered the field and scored a consolation goal in that game. Oh, sorry, we were losing 2-0 earlier. I think I said 2-1.
You did, okay.
Yeah. So we were. It wasn't a draw, but it was a 2-1 loss. But little did they know that goal ended up in the next. We went through on goal difference basically.
Okay.
So that like one last minute consolation goal was actually what sent us through. So it was like a win. We played the Dutch next and we lost 2-0. We'd already got what we came for.
So that's the furthest we've ever gotten. That's the quarterfinals.
No, that would have been the round of Italia 90 because we beat Romania in the round of 16.
Okay.
And then lost it in the quarterfinals. But yeah, we never got past. We've done some round of 16s. We've done some quarterfinals, but it's been. And in fairness, that's all you're looking for from Ireland. If you can get to a World Cup and get to a quarterfinal, if you can get to the round of 16, you're having a great time. If you win that game, don't let your expectations get raised.
Yeah.
Just celebrate that like it's the World Cup, and anything else that happens is a bonus.
Yeah.
Unless you should have won. You get screwed out of it by a dirty referee.
But you get to still watch a lot of games.
You get to watch games. You get to experience it. You get to, it's a once
the
in
record
a
for getting the furthest in the tournament without actually winning anything. Just keep seeing them glorious draws.
Do you want to talk about your stupid rugby World Cup?
No.
No.
No. I'm just talking about like even watching Ireland play.
Kevin thinks that this football is silly because only 8 teams have ever won the World Cup. And
Yeah.
it's like Ireland can't win it. It's like, yeah, but we can a nation the size of us, if we can get to a World Cup at all. Well, not anymore. Actually, I know earlier on when I was like, there's a 48 team World Cup, like everyone's going to qualify. We still won't. Have you seen the draw? It's terrible.
Oh,
we're screwed.
Who is it?
It's like the devil, I think, and Jesus, and
Brazil,
Superman,
France, and England,
and Toto Scalacci. But it's a once in a 4-year opportunity. It gives you a good chance to, it's, as a nation, you get to look back on a sporting event 20 years later and attach an accurate value of what that event meant to the nation.
Yeah.
But anyway, regardless of that, John Aldridge's header had sent Ireland into the Celtic Tiger.
Yes.
Aldridge might have lost his head on the Orlando touchline, but over the next decade, a lot more were going to lose theirs in the nightclub toilets and shite property deals littering the nation.
Very, very well written there.
We'd go. Who's to say that wasn't off the head?
Yeah.
No, it was off my head.
Yeah.
We'd go on to lose out in a playoff tie to the Dutch for Euro 96 in a neutral venue, Anfield, Liverpool.
Who's picking these neutral venues?
The Irish.
The Irish, yeah. I don't know. Let's just say Manchester home.
Liverpool. New York in the early 1900s.
I had Boston. I haven't heard anything about them in a while. Maybe we'll play over there.
But at this stage now, the team was kind of in a state of flux. There was like all the older heads. Once you start seeing the team having a load of lads with like 80 and 90 caps and stuff like that, you're like, all right, they're coming to the end of it.
Yeah,
it's going to be a few barren years. Or else the younger lads with a lot of promise are coming up, but they're not quite there yet. At the end of this, Jack's getting on a bit. He steps down. He's like, I've taken this group of players as far as I can. He's not going to be around for the next 6 years for the next crop. So he's like, he steps down. And who comes in?
A young man called Michael McCarthy.
Yes.
Big Mick.
Big Mick.
I'm getting excited now.
Yeah. And that's where we're... No, that's the end of this episode.
Oh, that's the prequel.
But in the next episode, the Saipan special... I'm going to go through a little bit of... Well, I'll go through those. He had 2 failed qualifying campaigns, then the 2002 World Cup, and then the fallout. So I'll go through all of that.
Yes.
And that'll be behind the Patreon.
Yes.
Is it? Some of it will be.
Some of it will be.
Yeah, I'll put something out on the regular feed because people are going to want to hear it as a little teaser.
Yeah.
But
the teaser is just going to be little clips of you losing your mind.
No, I'm going to be I'm fine with it.
Are you? Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was, it's a very contentious subject.
Richie lost his mind at you the other day.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Because you were telling our friend Richie that you were going to do this episode. And you're like, yeah, and Kev doesn't know anything about it. And Richie was like, what? Is he going to be against Roy? What are you doing? I don't know. I don't know yet.
I'll never forget him just pointing at me screaming, Steve Finnan, he got injured on that pitch.
He said, like...
That training ground was a car park.
Yeah, maybe especially in the hearts of Corkonians. It's a sore subject.
It is.
It'll be fun.
It'll be very fun. And I am going to try and be fairly objective.
I'm going to get walloped on Banana Football Special.
Ooh, that's terrible. I love Football Special.
Yeah.
That banana one, that's the worst thing I've ever drank.
Yeah. It's also full of chemicals I'm pretty sure aren't legal in all 25 counties apart from Donegal.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to see the drink when you turn the lights off.
No.
Yeah.
But that'll be good. Yeah, we'll get our old
we'll order a Football Special now. We'll have to... Oh, no, where's the place in Dublin that does it?
There's a few places.
The Back Pay...
There's a place on Thomas Street. There's a coffee shop in there that does it.
There we go.
And then Bang Bang Cafe in Phibsborough. That does it as well. But we'll whip out our Aircom jerseys.
I'm going to buy some.
I have one at home somewhere.
I'll buy
our
one
giant
today.
inflatable hammers.
Yes.
Our tricolour hammers.
The paddy hats with the ginger hair falling around there.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, we're going for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great. I'll go get my I'll get my jersey over the weekend.
Could we just do it for the Whelans gig? Could that be the Christmas time special?
Yeah. Here's an idea.
Yeah. Yes.
Saipan.
Do you know what? That's what we're doing.
Excellent.
Class. Right. Whelans.
Here, listen.
We literally I just thought of that now. Right. Yeah.
That's great.
Have we sold out already? It's too late. If anyone's going for it, I want to see an Irish history. Like, this is just sport now. The inmates are running the asylum. Kevin's letting me do it.
This
I'm
is
doing
great.
Saipan.
Right, well, fuck, I
Fill
better
us
get
full
my
of-
jersey now then.
Fill us full of Christmas time cheer.
Yeah.
Like, just, yeah. We'll see you then. We'll be pointing after.
Oh
we
my
can
God.
debate all night. It'll be great.
Class. All right. Well,
Okay. I'm so excited.
it's all come together.
Nice.
Wonderful. All right. Well, we'll see you next week for the Saipan special.
Shaft.
Good luck.